Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. And I'm being a dirt magnet. Now, you put a magnet in a filter, to filter the metal shavings out of your engine to attract the metal shavings and stuff. So I kind of feel like that. The poor benighted trolls out there around the world are going crazy. So, if you want to talk and be sensible and real, and decent about it, and several people are, they're pretty good about it. That's fine. We can have a discussion. The fact that they keep bringing up things that are hypothetical, and this is how this would have to work on a ball Earth, and it can't work on a flat Earth. Blah 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 blah, and talking about experiments that nobody's ever going to do, never has done, and never will do. Could maybe feasibly, but they're predetermining the outcome. This is what will happen. Really? You done that? No. Anybody ever done it? No. You think anybody's ever going to do it? Probably not. So what's the point? Okay. Anyway, I want to deal with 4 things that are coming out right now. To me, this is just what's going on. One is infrared photography. Okay, number 1. Not any necessary order. 2 is that I have recently discovered, come across Christians, believers, who are being very stalwart, very stand-up, very clear on speaking out and dealing with the issue. To the exclusion of working with and dealing with people who are compromised, shall we say. I'm not going to go into any of that. So, 3 is that there are supposed Christian, with a small c, Bible scholars, quote unquote, theologians, Christian theologians, quote unquote, and scientists. Okay, and I'm speaking particularly about 2 men and their organizations. There's a whole bunch of people allied with them. 3 actually. There's 3 organizations, Christian organizations, who are notoriously standing up against anything to do with flat Earth, mocking it, etc., etc., etc. One is Ken Ham. He is a guy that built an ark, an actual real size ark. It's not an ark, it's just a structure. It's built on concrete. Why didn't he build a real one? I don't know. Anyway, in Kentucky, and creation research something, answers in Genesis, basically. I'm not that familiar with him, like I said last night, that don't really care. Definitely don't care to know him much anymore. I mean, I was getting a bad taste in my mouth, and now finally he's being actually dealt with, and I think things are going on behind the scenes, like spiritually, in the spiritual realm. The other one, I'm not going to speed this along, Kent Hovind, Dr. Dino. Now, both of these guys have dinosaurs in the ark. So, one guy, an unbeliever, whatever, went to see it. Paid the money, big money. It was like $200 or something for his family to see the whole thing. Kids were bored to death. Noise, storm noises, he said, overall he was pretty put off. It was a pretty miserable experience. They didn't tell you that the receipt that they gave you had some kind of coded password or secret code so you can get out. They happen to say there's other people that thrown theirs away, lost it, so there's all these cars waiting to get through these locking gates, and they couldn't get out. He said, oh boy, was that a trip. So anyway, interesting. So, and then the other one is Skywatch News, Skywatch TV, Tom Horn. And I respect all these guys, as far as a lot of their work goes, their past work. Tom Horn is, of course, still doing a lot of good stuff, and he stands against these other 2 knuckleheads on things like Nephilim and end time scenarios. But they're against flat Earth. At least some of their people are in Tom Horn's operation. Not going to talk for the rest of them. But the two main ones, Kent Holbein and Ken Ham, are just, man, they're setting themselves up. You know, Bible says that judgment begins in the house of where? In the house of Elohim, in the house of Yah. I don't think I'd want to be in their shoes right about now. I mean, these people are all just laughing, mocking what the Bible says in Genesis, just mocking at it. We're going to go into that because I'm going to start, like I said, just come this end of the week, the seventh day, the Sabbath day. I'm going to start teaching. I'm at least going to start reading and commenting and having discussion, hopefully over the phone. So we'll have, you know, I'll be going into how to do research, how to do Bible study, how to look up different things, different works that I'm familiar with. I don't have my library here. I wish I did. I wish someday, you know, I could get my library out and have it available. I have probably as large a library as any, larger than I would say even any single pastor in this country. Or at least, you know, very few pastors have a library as large as I do. Top 5 or 10%, I would think. Anyway, it's all neither here nor there because it's all at risk and all being, you know, destroyed by bugs and worms and moisture in Missouri, humidity. Anyway, point being is that those are the three things that, and I've said before. One other is that back when, this is something that I'm finally got through. I don't even want to go into it much at all, but another thing about the flat earth issue is that basically in the protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, if you've not read that, look it up. It says that we will control all opposition, and that's pretty much the case in the whole flat earth thing. I mean, it's been an absolute circus, just a bloodbath, just sickening things going on. So that one of the reasons why I backed away from it was that. Two is that there really wasn't any progress at all being made. And so I'm seeing, you know, that was the four things. So what I'm seeing now is that number one, there's not new blood. These guys have been around for a long time, but I'm going to talk about them in a minute or two in the next video. Noel Hadley, Hadley, Noel, Noel, Hadley, Hadley, Christian writer, author, lecturer, has a YouTube channel. Our Way is the Highway, I believe, is his blog site and YouTube channel. And then another guy, Philip Stallings, and I want to talk about them too. So point being is, you know, here's a couple guys that are just, at least two, that are Nathan Roberts also, just saying, hey, this is in the Bible. If you don't like it, that's okay. You know, but I don't think it's right to claim to be a believer, a Christian of some sort, especially a leader, and then mock what it says plainly in Scripture. Answers in Genesis? No. Why don't they say answers are not in Genesis? Science holds the answers. You know, all these Luciferians, Copernicus and Galileo and Sir Isaac Newton and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye and all these Freemasonry astronauts. They're not. So anyway, point being. Okay, now I want to just go through this guy's J. Tolan Media 1. Okay, top, bottom right there, look at that. I'm going to go back over here, and this is amazing long-range infrared time-lapse at 50 miles plus over water. And he begins with the setup of the... Whoa, I don't think you can hear that. The situation, he pegs it out on the map.
California. I was out here in February with my infrared camera.
Okay. Infrared camera from Catalina Island to Santa Monica, Malibu, sorry. And I've heard other people say, hey, Professor, we shouldn't be able to see Catalina Island, should we? No. What would be the curvature of the Earth for over a span of 50 plus miles to Catalina Island? And the press calculated it out, and they say, so that would be impossible to see, right, from 50 miles away? Yeah, absolutely impossible. And they say, well, you know, you've been to the beach, right, down at Malibu? Yeah. You can see Catalina Island. No. You know, blow their mind that way. So that's
What
the
you're
deal is
about
here.
to see, have a look.
And then he shows a ferry there. You can see it
You
zooming
couldn't
along
see
there.
this in the visible spectrum.
And then he shows
What
the,
does this mean, folks?
you know, the actual math behind it. So, and he's calling this a phenomena, the flat Earth phenomena. He's just doing research, but I'll tell you what, he's doing it with infrared, which is like a, I don't know why it took us this long to start doing this, but I'm going to go to his channel here, and you'll see that he has like, bam, videos. Bop, 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 bop. 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. Okay, so pretty awesome stuff. Now, what's happening right now is that everybody around the entire Earth that is into flat Earth and has a Canon P900 camera, and I guess Canon's coming out with a new one, the P1000 camera, and this guy used a Sony camcorder, and then he got upgraded to a, whoa, that's loud.
Let's see what we can see.
Spotting scope. I can't remember what. Celestron. That's what.
Map to see what we
Celestron
saw.
spotting scope. Okay.
There's 3.
So just point out that, you know, he's doing a lot of different stuff, spending money on things that. The amazing thing is that all these flat earthers are spending some money doing and a lot of experiments like this. So go back to his website. So 4 videos, but what this is going to touch off is, there's going to be, like a flat earth sold who knows how many, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million Canon P900s. They're not that expensive, $500-600. Pick yourself up one. That's not out of range for anybody that's got any kind of income at all. Launch a high altitude weather balloon, about $500 to do that. Not that expensive. What you're going to put in as a camera, you know, that's going to be a different story. But what if start putting in on these high altitude balloons?
I'll even take the filter off and show you a comparison.
I'm going to turn that volume down so I don't have to.
In a short while, we'll be.
So, you know, a high altitude balloon at 100, this is at 33,000 feet, 120,000 feet? Oh my gosh. You know, what could be seen? Now, here's what I'm going to predict is that there is going to be some huge amount of new long distance photography set. The record right now is 273 miles. That's beyond horizons. It's a group of worldwide photographers. They are not flat earthers. They're not flat tards. They're not flat earth retards. They believe the earth is a globe, and yet they have taken pictures of mountains at 273 miles away, which would be like 6 miles of under the curve of the earth by 6 miles or so. So you can see it's flat, you know. So one guy wrote in and gave me a whole bunch of links and stuff, and, you know, they're like this, but they draw like a crooked line on it and say, look at that, it's curved, you know, like, well, really? Okay. They draw the line at an angle. So, yeah. Just, you know, you got to believe your fantasy. If you want to believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. You know, I gave up on the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus a long time ago, and the globe Earth is actually a whole lot stupider than Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Take a whole lot more faith to believe in a globe Earth than it does to believe in, you know, what you see in front of your eyes. So anyway, that is about it there. So I'm going to knock this one out. Look at this guy's website, J. Tolan Media, 4 videos. But I'm here to tell you right now, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos out there. And there's going to be some massively long-distance records set very soon. Because what this guy was able to go from not being able to see anything to being able to see 120 miles away easily, not even pushing the limit. This guy hasn't even begun to do anything amazing. Wait till him and other guys get on this and start doing some, you know, serious long distance stuff. It's gonna be mind-boggling. So that was the one point I wanted to make. There's something new on the scenes here. Why it took this long, I have no idea. from 30-some thousand feet in the air, the British, supposedly, every time I heard about it, it was a British spy plane that circled Waco nonstop. You know, C-130 they refueled in the air, or whatever it was, that was high altitude. The detail that you could see, and I remember seeing clouds, and then just all of a sudden, as it focused in, you saw clouds, and then as they zoomed in, just went right through the clouds and right down to the tank running over people and scooping up their bodies and punching the building in and dumping the bodies in and collapsing the building on top of them as it was burning, and then running over a woman's leg, and the bone came up and it got caught in the tread and through the tread on the tank. I saw that personally. I saw that from 30,000 feet. I mean, wasn't in the plane, but that video should be out there. Everybody on Earth should see that video. I doubt they will. I've never seen it. I've never seen it again. They might have popped the guy that showed it. You know, he's the guy that slowed it down, unscrambled it, and whatever. I don't know what happened to it, but I never saw it presented in, what was it? Any of the Waco the Big Lie, or Waco this or Waco that. Rules of engagement. You know, it wasn't in there. It should have been. It had already come out by then. Anyway, neither here nor there at this point. But what you can see, the detail, the fine detail at distance, I'd have no idea why this wasn't done a whole lot long time ago. This should have been out there since Who Flung the Chunk. All right. Thank you. This is